You know what? Rafael Diaz Baloli, you are exactly who you think you are, and we need to talk about it. But first, guys, if this is your first time watching any of my videos or coming across me on this YouTube space, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk about football, La Liga, Barcelona, Champions League, and all of that stuff. I'm a cooler, and it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me. So if this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie. I would love to grow this channel with you. But we need to dive into what has just happened, because in case you've been living under a rock, Barcelona have just taken apart Atletico Madrid in a fantastic, listen to me, fantastic 3-1 display, led by who? Raphinha. And we need to talk about it, because let me tell you, last video I put out about Barca's game over the weekend, I'm not ashamed to say it was a Raphinha glazing session, and I am so glad that he did not let me down, because he has turned up another man of the match performance against Atletico Madrid, and boy oh boy have we missed him. But he was not the only thing that happened in this game. We also recognize a diamond in the dust that we have probably been ignoring all this time, and I want to talk about that person too, because all in all, it was a total team performance. But even in a team performance, there were some sparkling lights that I want to highlight in this game. But let's look at the lineup that Hansi Flick put out against an informed, because that's the operative word, an informed Atletico Madrid. It was Joan Garcia in goal, as always. Splendid performance. When we needed him, he was there, and I live for it. Jules Koundé today. This is the Jules Koundé I spent the whole of last season defending. The Jules Koundé that showed up today, that's the guy I know. The one that I've been showing, I don't know who that person has been. The Jules Koundé in right back today. 10 over 10. Pau Kubasi. I mean, we don't get to talk about him a lot because he's a defender, and you know, it's a thankless job sometimes, especially with the way Barcelona play with that high line. But seeing that leadership in that defense today, I live for it. And today's diamond in the dust. We may have unlocked something here, because Gerard Martin, the man that you are, the absolute man that you are, I lived for you. Everything that you did in today's performance, sensational. And of course, in left back, it was Alejandro Balde. And when I tell you Alejandro Balde, the only thing that was missing from his performance today was a goal, because he was doing everything else. He was stunning at Atletico Madrid. He was stunning them. And I was like, all that you need is a goal just to cap it off, because this was already a 10 over 10 defensive performance. When you go into the midfield, oh my days, Pedri, Eric Garcia, and Dani Olmo. And what can I say? Pedri, we've come to expect it. It is just standard performance from Pedri to always turn up and turn out, you know. But the revelation again in midfield is Eric Garcia. And honestly, I said this on my TikTok, which, by the way, if you're not following me on TikTok, you're missing out, because a lot of the things that I get to say on TikTok, I don't get to say them on here, because, you know, this is a longer form content. On TikTok, you get some of my thoughts very fast, very quickly. It's at the Just Max Show. Just go check that out. And I said it on TikTok just now that Eric Garcia is probably going to go down as one of the best loan experiences that Barcelona has ever put together. Maybe the world has ever put together, because after that spell at Girona, he has come back a renewed player. This season, he's played left back, he's played right back, he's played centre back, and now in the midfield position, playing the 6, because Frankie de Jong picked up an illness just before this game. Like, he was supposed to start, you know, but he was ill today, and so he couldn't start. And playing that 6, and he did it so well. Like, he did it so sensationally. Like, Atletico Madrid could not put a lot of things together, because Eric Garcia was in that midfield as a defender, and he was energetic. He had so much. He was recovering so many things, and I live for it. Dani Olmo that showed up today is the Dani Olmo that I used to know. That Dani Olmo from today, that's the Dani Olmo. That's the only Dani Olmo that is recommended to come outside moving forward. It's the only thing that is sad is that he did end up picking up an injury, obviously, after he scored, which is kind of like anticlimactic. But everything else that happened from him today, he was beautiful. The controls, the passes, everything in that midfield today, he ate and left no crumbs, and I was here for it. In the front line, though, we did get to see our preferred attacking trio. It was Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. And I'm going to resist the urge to turn this video into another Raphinha glazing session. But let me tell you this now. It wouldn't hurt if I make this a Raphinha glaze, because guess what? Another performance from Raphinha where he is leading from the front. This is the kind of leadership that we Barca fans have been saying we need. Oh yes, the press was there, the energy was there. At some points, like, is Raphinha a left winger? Because there were some times where him and Lamine Yamal were on the same side or at the right. He was in the middle, he was at the front, he was at the back, he was just everywhere. He was all the intangible things, and you see why he's an integral fulcrum of this Hansi Flick project. When Raphinha is not there, nothing's happening, and immediately Raphinha went off in the 70th minute. Things changed. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead. Like, you can tell whenever I get to talk about this player, I live for him. I love him so much. He's just such a wonderful player. He doesn't get all the PR that he needs to get for all the things that he does. But oh my days, he's here. I'm glad we signed him. I think he's one of our best signings in the last 10 years. But let me just rein myself back in, because we need to talk about the things that have happened in this game. Lamine Yamal, another beautiful performance from him. Lewandowski, though, he didn't have a good performance. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, he didn't have a great performance, but ultimately it doesn't matter because Barcelona end up winning 3-1 anywho. Now, when I started this match, I was when we got past the first 1 minute and Barcelona had not conceded, I felt a little bit more relaxed, because one of the things that we've been seeing recently is that when teams come to play us, they hit us very fast and very quickly. So the fact that we were able to absorb that initial pressure from Atletico Madrid and then just ride that out and start to play our game, I was very, very happy for that. But also beyond that moment, right, I felt like we controlled the game moving forward. I felt like we were very, very good. Listen, this is one of the few Barca games that we've played this season where I could say I totally, absolutely enjoyed and adored the performance. Yes, Atletico Madrid did end up scoring first. They did end up breaking our high line through Alex Baena, and it was a moment where I felt like they wouldn't have scored if Joan Garcia did not think that Baena was offside. I feel like he didn't put in enough effort to try and defend the ball because he thought that it was going to be ruled offside. Unfortunately, it was an onside goal and it was okay. But you see, the thing that was different about this performance for me was that even though Atletico Madrid had scored, I still wasn't as nervous because I knew, we were going to come back. I knew that we were going to, because we were showing those signs in the game. We were showing those signs that gave me that confidence. There's if you watch Barca games, and I watch all of Barcelona games. If you watch Barca games, there are some games that you'll be like, we're going to win this one. And then there's some games that you're like, maybe not. This was like the way we were playing in that first half. Even after Baena scored, I had a good confidence that we were going to be able to turn things around. And with Raphinha in the starting lineup, the kind of energy that he was injecting into that starting lineup, I knew that it would not take a very, very long time before we were going to equalize that goal. And of course, it would be my guy who is going to be at the helm of things. And this again is one of the things that I love about some of the things that Raphinha does. Sometimes Barcelona, I feel like they overdo it in terms of making it pretty, making it nice, making it cute, but sometimes too Raphinha is very direct, because the pass between him and Pedri, and then him just what he did to Jan Black in that sequence of play was nasty. Like the way he took the ball round Jan Black was left sprawled on the ground, and then he had an open net to just pick his spot. Nasty goal, you nasty boy. I live for it. I am so sorry. It was a very, very beautiful goal from Raphinha. It was so very, very cute, and I live for it. Now, there was some things that I saw in that first half, which again, that's the thing that separates Raphinha and Rashford, in that there's some runs that Raphinha keeps making that Lamine Yamal was seeing, but sometimes he didn't have the technical execution to find him. Those trivela passes to Raphinha that on multiple occasions, even before Atletico Madrid scored, threatened to unlock the Atletico Madrid defense. I live for it. That kind of directness is some of the things that Rashford doesn't bring, but Raphinha brings it too. But also the ability to lead from the front. I love it. Listen, I love it. I love it. When I tell you I love it, right? Because I could see Raphinha pressing, and the way he's very vocal on the pitch, that's something that we need. That vocal leadership on the pitch. Like, he was berating Lamine Yamal for not going with him when he pressed on Jan Black, because if Lamine Yamal had pressed with him on the other side, he could have close down some of the passing lanes for Yano Black, and that's what we've been missing, that level of commitment. He was everywhere, but I digress. Barcelona did end up getting a penalty in the 35th minute of play thereabout, when Dani Olmo was brought down. Again, a nasty piece of skill from Dani Olmo, who was sensational today. I have been criticizing Dani Olmo this season. I'm going to be vocal about the respect. Today, Dani Olmo, he did the thing. It makes sense. Dani Olmo likes to operate in tight spaces, and the spacing, it was tight. But the skills that he was able to take the ball away from the Atletico Madrid defender, it was never even a question whether it was a penalty. One of the things that was disappointing to me, though, is that Lewandowski skied that penalty. And here's the thing, though. Before even Lewandowski played the penalty, I could not watch it, because I knew that as Barcelona, we have a problem with scoring penalties. We're not very good at taking penalties. So I had the feeling that he was going to miss. I was facing the wall. He did end up missing. So Hansi Flick, hear me out. If you peradventure by chance happen to see this video by tomorrow, I'm going to need every single Barca player to practice taking penalties moving forward. Like, every single person must take 100 penalties and score 90. Or they must score 95 before they leave the pitch. Because I know for certain, Barca players don't know how to take penalties. We've seen it. Koundé can't take one. Lamine Yamal is not really reliable. Lewandowski is, sometimes he do score, sometimes he don't score. Ferran Torres, is not reliable. Pedri is not very reliable with the penalty. So we need to be practicing penalties. That needs to be a skill that we need to add. We might laugh at Real Madrid all we want, Kylian Mbappe has scored 10 penalties this season. That's the thing. He gets 11 penalties, he scores 10. Barca players, though, they get 10 penalties, they score 7, they score 6. That kind of efficiency and turnaround is not something that I need when we're chasing a season or we're chasing, a treble. We need to be able to score 9 of 10 penalties. So y'all need to get on that. That's a weakness that we've been identified, because I don't even think people are going to be afraid to fall people down in the penalty box, because if people feel miss it, you can miss it. You've shown many times that you can miss it. So why bother, anywho? But one of the things that I loved in the second half, again, is that energy that we came with. And I have to give credit to Dani Olmo today. He did end up getting the second goal for us. Again, it was a combination play. One of the few things that Lewandowski did right in this game was that give and go between him and Dani Olmo, where Dani Olmo found himself just very through on goal, one-on-one opportunity with Yano Black, and he picks his spot. Unfortunately, though, Dani Olmo did end up, I think he dislocated his shoulder after he scored. I was so happy for the goal. I was so sad to see the player go down. But one of the things I have to give you your thanks today. You did that. That was a very, very good performance today. So I hope you do come back feeling strong, feeling better in no distant time. But it was a very, very good performance from you today. Barcelona, though, I have to give appreciation to the entire Barcelona backline. The way we played, it was amazing. Now, there's something that has to be said for the energy that Raphinha brings. He did end up going out of the pitch on the 70th minute, and you could see that the intensity went from 100 to 0 immediately. Raphinha left the pitch, which is something that, again, we need to work on. We cannot just have one person who has all of that energy and nobody's able to sustain it, right? But I have to then give credit to the backline, because they did end up coming under sustained pressure immediately thereafter. But Barcelona defenders today, Gerard Martin, Jules Koundé, Alex Balde, and of course Kubasi, they were sensational. Alex Balde was doing his thing on the wings. Ever since Raphinha came back, Alex Balde has been unlocked to a new dimension. So let's keep that one aside. It was great. Koundé, though, this season has not been his best, but he picked the right time for him to have one of his best games. Today I felt like he was Koundé in the way he needed to Koundé. But Kubasi, though, he had a good game. But who I want to talk about, though, is Gerard Martin. We've been looking for a left center back for some time now, and who knew that we had someone in, we had it there, because he's a left back normally, and we've been playing Kubasi out of position in the left center back position. But look at him coming 2 games now, or is it 3 games now, and he's proven that he can take that center back position and make it his own. When he had that yellow card against Giuliano Simeone towards the end of the first half, I was a little bit worried about him. I was thinking that maybe Hansi Flick should then take him off, but the second half performance was sensational, and I have to give him credit for the defending he put together. When I don't know what's the Atletico Madrid player had a gaping net basically to aim at. Because if you remember correctly, Joan Garcia had already gone to ground, missed the ball, and then the way the defenders just kind of forced him a little bit wide, which kind of puts the Atletico Madrid defender off of his stride and, sends the shot wide. It's just some of the little things that he did today in this game. He was really, really good. And I have to take this time to do a proper Gerard Martin appreciation, because listen to me, when someone defends good, we have to give kudos to them. Like, and to the whole entire backline, if you people keep defending this way, we will be quarreling. We won't quarrel. Like, if people behave this way normally, we won't quarrel. Because like the second half performance, they were so focused. The high line was barely broken, if at all. It was so focused. And when the high line was even broken, the way that they were able to put together a very quick recovery run and cut out maybe the passing channels for Atletico Madrid, that's what we are looking for. We know that the high line is not infallible, but it's how you recover when the high line is broken. That's one of the things that I want to see moving forward. So today was a very, very good example of what to do in those kind of situations. I have to give credit to Hansi Flick, though. He did end up taking off Lamine Yamal and bringing up Christensen. We said to me like, we had a 2-1 lead at this point. Why risk it? We can just sustain the pressure and defend, and then take all 3 points. This is what we'll be craving for. Some of the lessons that we learned from Inter Milan, right? We don't have to go and try to get an attack or play a ridiculous high line. So bringing in a 5 defender, holding that line for Barcelona and sustaining those pressure. Again, I have to give credit to that defenders. The last 10 minutes, starting from the 85th minute, because again we did have 6 more minutes of extra time. So from the 85th minute up until full-time whistle, it was a barrage of assault from Atletico Madrid, and they stood firm. And that addition of Christensen too, it was great. But again, I want to take a moment to recognize the work of Rashford, because you have to do what you need to do, because we sustained the pressure and we're able to turn pressure into attack when the opportunity came. Rashford combines with Balde, who then puts a ball into Ferran Torres, who was just through on goal, 1-on-1 position with Jan Black, and he scores a 3-1 for Barcelona. And honestly, this is one of the best performances I've seen from Barcelona today. And to think that we now find ourselves 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. Let me tell you, when I saw that Real Madrid drop points over the weekend against Girona, and then we had suddenly gone to the top of the league despite not playing some of our best football, I was like, oh. And I've always said this on my TikTok, which, by the way, if you're not following me, you're missing out on a lot of things. But I always said this on my TikTok, like, the worst thing that you can do is allow Barcelona to go top of the table, because once we go up, we don't come down. And so to think that we have now opened the 4-point gap, there's a lot of pressure on Real Madrid to answer tomorrow when they take on Atletico Bilbao, Athletic Club. We will be here to watch those as well and to see how they all turn out. But let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section. Who stood out to you? What were some of your memorable moments? I'm living for this Barcelona. I guess after Raphinha said to Hansi Flick over the weekend that what we're going to improve, they have stuck to their words. They're showing together a performance, and I'm living for it. We're top of the table. We're 4 points clear of Real Madrid. It is Barcelona 3, Atletico Madrid 1, and that's on what? Period. Bye, guys.